Welcome to the MLB show on the Sauter on Sports Podcast Network. I am Mark Sauter. This is Tom Brown. It is so good to be back. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us. Sometimes I say we're going to be here and we're not here. I'm trying to be a man of my word, and sometimes it's just hard for me to do that, but I'm going to therapy and I'm working on it and I'm trying to get better every day. Tom, good to be back. Real quickly before we get started, like to let everybody know, as always, this show is brought to you by First Round Collectibles. Right now with promo code SPORTS10, get 10% off any sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50%, 50% off multiple sports cards, a bunch of different cards, not every card, but a lot of cards. And with our promo code SPORTS10, not only do you get 10% off of regular priced items, but sales items as well. That means up to 60% off multiple sports cards in the entire First Round Collectibles store. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Promo code SPORTS10 for 10% off your order. Also by Total Apex Sports and Total Apex Media. As always, big shout out to them for having us on board. Baseball playoffs, more than full swing. We're full swing. Hockey is literally starting as we speak. Basketball is right around the corner. Football is ongoing, heading into week 6. Lots and lots going on. Go to totalapexsports.com to catch up on everything that you need over there. They talk gambling, they talk fantasy, and if you're not a degenerate and just want to learn about the sports, then they have that as well. They also have a health website, lifestyle, fitness, gaming, TV shows, pop culture, the whole deal. Total Apex Sports, Total Apex Media. 3 minutes in, and I haven't stopped talking. I'm done. Tom, how we doing on a baseball Tuesday, bro? Let's go.
We're doing very well over here. Probably better than the Detroit Tigers, who are currently tied with the Mariners top 4, 2 outs. Just to give everybody kind of a sense of where we are at while we're recording. They are not 15 minutes away from having squandered another opportunity with runners in scoring position. Yeah, this series obviously ongoing. For that reason, I think we're probably not going to talk about it too much. There's just a game literally happening as we speak. Funny first 2 games. The Tigers stole one, and then the Mariners stole one back with Skubal on the mound. The Mariners able to do just enough to eke out a series-tying victory. And what do we want to talk about first here, Mark?
Well, just to kind of piggyback on what you just said, just for a quick second, because we're not going to talk about this long, but just really quickly, I said this on the show the last time that we were on, Friday night, I suppose it was, that if the Tigers had a chance, they needed obviously to win the Skubal start. That's obvious. If you're even just a general baseball fan, we all know that. But if they could find a way to win that game 1, find a way, and then win your Skubal start, obviously you're in good shape. And they did that. They found a way to win it. They got it done. It took a couple extra innings, but they figured it out. And yesterday they were just 2 days ago, they were just completely shut down. And I'm no disrespect to this series, but I'm glad we finally have it right. And the Yankees and the Jays are the headliner of the night, because this series has been insane. And we're going to talk about that later on in the show. So yeah, man, like when we were scheduled to start yesterday,
right,
we were obviously the go-to topic was the Blue Jays. And I love it when this works out, because I let everybody know I am a fan. As much as I cover hockey, I'm in the hockey media, I cover these sports. I've been covering football for this season. I'm getting into baseball now with you. I love all these sports, and I try to cover it from an objective standpoint. I'm still a fan, and I have my teams, I have my fandom, and I love it when this works out, because I always want to talk about my team, but I'm always self-conscious that because people know it's my team, I have to kind of bury that a little bit. But after the weekend, there was no hotter topic than what the Toronto Blue Jays did to the New York Yankees. But then yesterday happened, and the Philadelphia Phillies, after choking away a 3-0 lead on Saturday, were in prime position to not only come back and tie that game in the ninth, but in my opinion, to win the game. And what happened happened, and I have a lot to say about it. That's where we're gonna start. Um, and we're gonna start there, and then we're gonna ease our way. It's not gonna be a long show today. We're gonna end the show talking Blue Jays Yanks, as Game 3 is tonight, with the Jays with the opportunity to sweep the series. So first, Tom, I got my thoughts, but I want to hear from you because you're way smarter than I am. What are your thoughts on what happened in Philadelphia last night, man? Because
I
it is, and we're gonna talk about the odds a little bit later, but FanDuel has this series as all but over, which obviously you're down 2-0. But what did we watch last night? And I know, sorry, real quick, I know that you don't score any runs for the first 7 innings, and you don't do this and you don't do that. All that is true. You put yourself in a prime opportunity to win that baseball game last night. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but for the sake of this conversation, it doesn't matter what happened the first 7 innings. You got one run during the eighth, and you put yourself in prime position to win that game, and their heads fell off their bodies. It was amazing. Not the amazing of like awesome amazing, but like amazing as in what did I just watch?
Yeah, and I mean they're heading back to Dodger Stadium to play the next 2 games if necessary. So it's not even there's no reprieve there. Although after a performance like that in the ninth inning, you probably not like to have to face your fans again next time out when you're the Phillies. I think as we talk about, right, it's baseball, and it really does come down to, you mentioned it in our last podcast, how every pitch, every play is so important. Everything is imbued with so much tension. Of course, there's no clock in baseball, right? It's outs, and you can't give away outs, and you can't waste them, right? So if the defense messes up, commits an error, just makes a bad play, you're giving the opposing team's offense more opportunity to score. If you give away an out on the base paths or at bat, you're giving away time to your opponent, and we saw that last night. Nick Castellanos had one of the all-time kind of go, no innings, I think we'll say, for a hitter. He, of course, hit the go-ahead the 2 RBI knock to bring them to within 1 run, which he then proceeded to try to stretch into a double. He barely got in there. He was behind the tag. The reason he was safe was because the tag was a little too far ahead of him. Not the greatest tag. Having got away with playing with fire once on a poorly executed bunt and a questionable call. I know you have thoughts about that, so I'll leave that to you to talk about. But a poorly executed bunt. The Dodgers are able to make the first out of the inning at third base, which is one of the cardinal sins. The team was down 1 run. Castellanos was already in scoring position, and he made what I can only describe as, he flubbed it, right? That's just a bad decision. And he was DOA at third. Sucked all of the drama out of it. Of course, now there's an out, but there's also no runners left in scoring position. And a couple of outs later, including a really good play by Freddie Freeman, fair enough, on that scoop from a bad throw. Real letdown of a game, but also this is why you want to watch baseball, right? But in the 8th inning, that was a sleepy affair. The Dodgers were doing everything that you would expect them to do. It looked like it was over. The Mariners are up 1-0. And then you stay with the game, and then you got some real drama, and then you get if you're looking for longer series like I am, I have no rooting interest in that series particularly, right? I don't have money on that series, so there's really what I want is the most good baseball I can see.
Yeah, of
And those
course.
are two good teams, and I want to see those. They're star-studded teams, so I would love to see 5 games. Not from a fan perspective, but from a baseball fan perspective. It was a bit of a gut punch watching that end so deflatingly on such just bad execution on the bunt and terrible base running. Nick Castellanos, a questionable decision that paid off, trying to get to second, and then blew away all that goodwill on the bunt. The bunt, which I don't think you like that one, Mark.
Listen, man, I understand, and there's a lot of like ex-professionals who are in the media outlets who are kind of standing on both sides of this, and who am I to say anything like against what they have to say about it? I never played the game at this capacity. It's just watching their like baseball. It's one thing, especially with the new analytics, and I know it's not that new, but the analytics of whatever. You and I have talked about this on air and off air, how pulling out an amazing pitcher because he went through like the lineup twice, and the third time is where it all falls apart. It's like it can be a game by game basis, and I feel the same way about at bats, where on the one side of it, that whole thing, his whole job was to bunt and to move the runner. That was what Thompson had him there for. I understand that side of it. I also understand people saying, well, he was never going to switch out of the bunt because that's not what he does. That's not what you do in that situation. If you're gonna bunt, you bunt and you don't change
Until
your
there's 2
mindset.
strikes. Yeah.
I get that. I get it. But in my opinion, the situation changed. Like the situation changed. And I just felt that the like like fielding positions were such where there was room for you to just smack that ball. And now listen, Castellano, like, he's not a good runner. You
No.
could say he's the slowest runner on the team, maybe. So maybe he gets home, maybe he doesn't. I just think you're in that position. It and I think what fueled my thoughts more so, also, shout out to Jordan in the chat. It's good to have you on, man. I always think I know I need to reach out to you to get you on the show, Jordan. I'm sorry, man. I got a lot going on and I forget, but I love you and I appreciate you. I get what Jordan's saying is, okay, this batter got hurt, pinch hitter. I understand. Just to me, what fueled my fire even more was after the fact, Rob Thompson saying, at home, we play to tie. If we were on the road, we would try to win. And to me, I mean, just go, like, you're in a position to win the ball game. And it just, I just didn't like the approach. I thought it was too conservative for the moment. And it didn't feel like, from a managerial standpoint, it just didn't feel like you were behaving as if your season was on the line. You know what I mean? Why extend the game when you can end it? You were in a position to do so. And again, I understand it. I do. I know baseball well enough to understand the situation, but to me, it was stupid with the speed that you had on the bags, or the lack thereof, with the opportunity and the gaps that were right there for you to, smack a ball through. And I know it's not quite that simple, but I would rather him get out with a ground ball than put their base runner in a position to get out. And then, like, I just didn't like it.
To me, I think Thompson's comments saying you play for one to tie the game, et cetera, et cetera. I think a lot of that is him giving cover to his player, who Castellanos made a bad read on that ball by trying to
That's
go
fair.
third.
That's
And
fair.
I think he's probably trying to give cover to his player. Doesn't want to. A manager can't go out and blame the player for that mistake. Castellanos knows. He's been a professional baseball player for a long time. His teammates have been professional baseball players for a long time. There's nobody in that organization that doesn't know that he messed up. Everybody knows that the bunt was a bad bunt too. That wasn't, but I mean, a bad bunt. Okay, that's one out at first. No big deal, right? You still got a runner in scoring position. You can still play to tie. You can still play to win. Yeah, just all around ugly play. In the interest of time, we should probably move on. Do you think, by the way, we want to talk about odds on that one? What do the odds say?
Yeah, so Philly. So okay, so let's play a game. Thank you for teeing this up and for getting me back on track because I could ramble about this forever. Let's play a quick game. Um, we're gonna go through these series. We're gonna finish up the show with the Yankees Blue Jays. Let's go through all of these series. I want you to rank each series that I'm gonna give you of the 0-2 teams. The teams down 2 games to none. Quickly, we just talked about the whole Phillies Dodgers. We'll touch on the other series here. We'll wrap it up. Um, so the Chicago Cubs are down now after last night and getting out to first inning leads in both games and not being able to bring the ship home. Chicago Cubs are plus 550 to come back and win this series. Milwaukee is minus 750. The Dodgers are minus 1,300 to win this series against the Phillies. The Phillies are plus 806. The Yankees are plus 380 to come back and win, while Toronto is minus 500. Rank each and in what you think is more likely. And when you get to the Milwaukee Chicago portion, give me a couple minutes on how you feel about this series so far.
Yeah, so I'll go with the exact reverse order of how Vegas sees it. I think the most likely team of those three teams facing 0-2 deficits to come back is the best of those three teams facing 0-2 deficits to come back. A team that had a horrible night last night and lost in the night, it failed to come back in the ninth inning. The Phillies still have Kyle Schwarber. The Phillies still have Bryce Harper. The Phillies, and these guys do not look like themselves in this series. They have not got on track yet. That doesn't mean that they can't. It's baseball. I would put them as the most likely, despite the very long odds. I would say they're the most likely of the three teams to get there.
Love it.
The second most likely, I've got to say the Cubs. Round ball, round object. I really don't see much of a pathway back for them. They've looked pretty listless. The Brewers are, I mean, they're beating them pillar to post, right? They've beaten them at everything. They beat them at their own game. They beat them at the Cubs game. Down 1-0 after the first batter in game one. Well, just 45 minutes and 8 runs later, that first inning ended. Then last night they were down 3-0. A big swing from Andrew Vaughn to tie it up, home run, right? And then a big swing from William Contreras to put them ahead. And then Jackson Chourio, who's only played 5 Major League postseason games in his career, is already, I think, third on the all-time Brewers list for RBIs or something ridiculous like that. He's spectacular, with or without a hamstring problem. Yeah, I'd still say, the Cubs have a lot of high-end talent, and high-end talent get to places. The Brewers haven't got over the hump in the playoffs. They haven't been out of whatever their first round is, whether that be the wild card or divisional round, since 2018. Now, there's a huge amount of turnover on that team, but the organization, ownership group, and the basic direction of the team is all the same since then. So until they get over that hump, you can somewhat see the possibility of there being some letdown from them, especially at Wrigley Field, which is a tough stadium, I suppose. I'm trying to make a case for it. I really don't see it. I just I really think the Brewers are going to come back. And then the least likely, I think, to come back of the three options, which one is left. I think the least likely comeback is the Bronx Bombers. I think I believe it was David Ortiz said it on the national broadcast of the game that Jesus Christ himself could come back and they're still going to Cancun. Right?
I love it. I love it. All right. So for me, I put the Cubs as the third likeliest. I think that Cubs Brewers series is toast. And I think that the Cubs are the last. The Phillies and the Yankees, I put it's hard for me to really rank. I can see either case. As we segue into the Yankees and the Blue Jays, this is why I think that the Yankees, the case for the Yankees to be the most likely to win, or to come back and to win. Not that I think it's going to happen, but why I can see it being the most likely.
Why the odds makers have said it's the most likely, whether or not we agree. You're presenting what the odds makers are saying and making their case for them. We know you're not a bad fan, Mark. We know.
Sure.
We got you.
No, dude. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I think that the Jays win tonight. I know that Rodon is a very good pitcher. I think it's going to be a really good matchup tonight. Shane Bieber. If he was in Toronto, he'd have his Justin Bieber walk-up song, but I still think it's going to be hype. And Rodon, this is going to be a terrific matchup. I think the Jays win tonight. I do. So this might sound counter what I'm saying here. However, if the Yankees pull this game out tonight, that game tomorrow night is essentially a bullpen day for the Jays. And I don't like that. Schlittler, or that's how you pronounce his name, right?
Schlittler.
He is set to be on the mound tomorrow. Now, what we saw, he's had a very good rookie season. What we saw on the weekend, a couple weekends ago, or not weekends, but last week, that's not a typical start from him, although he is very, very good. Yeah. I'm not expecting him to, and like the Jays don't strike out. They're a very good strikeout team. And I think that it's going to be a much different outing than it was against Boston, but I still would favor him over a bullpen game, for the Jays, right. Which is one reason why I didn't like the Savage getting pulled in the fifth inning. Cause I don't like that we kind of showed our hand there with all of the different, relievers, and we never really talked about that. We'll talk about that game on another day.
Yeah.
But I do think that if the Yankees win tonight, that it feels like an automatic game 5 to me. I've never in my memory had a team on the verge of sweeping their opponent and calling that next game a must win. But I really do think for the Jays, yes, you come back to Toronto and you have the ace against ace, probably Gosman versus Fried, and your Savage can come out of the bullpen. And I understand all that. But to me, this is a must win for the Jays tonight. I don't like a bullpen game tomorrow. And you leave it in the hands of a game 5, anything can happen. So to me, this is a must win game for Toronto. I do think they will win, but if they don't, there is a path, and a pretty simple path for the Yankees to come back to win that ball, or to win this series.
So yeah, we'll throw the idea of some numbers at you on this specific matchup, Rodon versus the Jays tonight. Shane Bieber, weirdly, Shane Bieber's only ever started one game at Yankee Stadium. A game that he won. He went 8 innings, 5 hits, no runs. Only 4 strikeouts, but only 1 walk. That was back when he was with Cleveland, though, obviously, right? And basically nobody he didn't play. Shane Bieber didn't play the Yankees this year at all. No. He's only started 7 games for the Jays. Missed basically the last 2 years, right? So they asked Austin Wells. Hazel May asked Austin Wells, their catcher, earlier today, what are the keys to success against Bieber, and he hasn't ever faced him, right? And that'll be the case for a number of guys on the Yankees. His numbers against the Yankees that he has faced, I have those handy somewhere. Oh Lord! Now it's only 52 plate appearances against current Yankees that he's ever. The current Yankees only have 52 plate appearances against him ever. He's given up 1 double, 2 home runs, 6 runs scored. He's struck out 18 of 52. This is all from before his injury, right? So we can't say much about that. That's such a small sample size. He has been a little bit homer prone this year. That's typical of Blue Jays starters. Short porch in Yankee Stadium, not great, right, for a homer prone pitcher. But on the other side, Rodon, again, that's small enough sample of numbers that it take what you want from it if it fits your narrative, or just ignore it entirely, which is probably the smart thing to do. We're not doing that anyway, though. We're going to talk about it. 26 and a third career postseason innings. He's been pretty awful, except for 2 starts last year during the ALCS when he was fantastic. He's been really good all year this year. He was not good against the Blue Jays. He had a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. I'm sure that the Jays broadcast will do a really good job of talking about this. I think I'm doing this by memory, so forgive me. I believe Vladdy has, I think it's 21 at-bats against him. It might be 21 plate appearances against him in his career. And Rodon's only been able to fan him once. So
Yes.
That seems to be a team-wide situation. I mean, the Blue Jays just don't strike out, right? Lowest strikeout rate in the majors. And that's going to be, that'll be a story tonight. Rodon is good, though. That's a good pitcher. And one game, anything can happen. I'll say this. I love, and we talked about it before it was even announced. I said I thought there was a chance the Jays would start Savage in Game 2 so that they could have the steady hand, the veteran, and Bieber start at Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium, notoriously difficult place to play, right? That I don't think I'm breaking any news there. In fact, I think that's one of the most overplayed, hackneyed, cliche things that people talk about constantly. Like when people don't have anything to talk about, they just mention, "Oh, you never want to play at Yankee Stadium." Look, it's no Fenway, it's no Wrigley. But yeah, it's loud. We saw that in Game 3 for Cam Schlittler's start against the Red Sox last week. We saw that. And I'm not going to talk much about a Game 4, except to say nobody really wants that. Schlittler was very clutch in that game. Schlittler was very big starting for the Yankees at home on their 9/11 game, right? Like 9/11 is always a big game in New York when they do that annually, when they remember the first responders and everything. He was fantastic in that game. That's a really pressure-packed situation specific to that market that nobody else really faces. They gave it to the rookie, and he dazzled that night as well. I was not surprised at how good he was against Boston in an elimination game. So, no, I don't really want to see him in Game 4. But here's the other thing about Yankee Stadium. Tough place to be a visiting player. Yankees fans are not shy. Yankees fans have opinions. They're passionate. They know what's going on. And they're also not shy when they're unhappy with their team. Yeah, it's a tough place to be a visiting player, but when you're down 0-2 in the ALDS against a division rival, and you know Jays fans will show up for that game because they do it every game.
Yes.
It's going to be a tough place to be a home player as well. That fans know that they're facing elimination. Making the DS is not good enough. Not winning the division was not good enough. Being in the playoffs is not good enough. They still remember the 5th inning from the World Series last year when they fell short again, right? Aaron Judge's numbers are, but he hasn't shown any power this far in the playoffs. Yeah.
No.
Tough place to be a visiting player. Really tough place to be a home player, I think. And if the Jays can get off to a good start tonight, that I think that narrative, which we're going to see about anyway. If the Jays lose, it'll be because, in large part, in the headlines and all the radio and everything we see, the narrative will be in large part, the atmosphere of Yankee Stadium. And if the Yankees lose, the narrative will be in large part Yankees fans booed the Yankees off the field, et cetera, et cetera. The one thing, death taxes and the Yankees fans getting inordinate amounts of credit for things that they're not really all that special. I think the Phillies fans are less welcoming, I'd say. Red Sox fans certainly less welcoming. I don't know if you caught any of the Jays games this weekend, but I wouldn't have loved to be an opposing player in Toronto. Anyway, I got off topic there a little bit, but yeah, I think the Jays win tonight. I think we'll talk about we'll cross a game 4 bridge when we come to it, which will most likely be in the next round against the Mariners.
So I know you have to run off. You're going to go watch the game with some buddies, which you should absolutely.
Watch party or the Blue Jays.
That's right. In Winnipeg. So
buddy,
I love it.
Across the country.
I love it. I love it, man. This country hates Toronto until it's the Blue Jays, and then everyone's on board.
And the Raptors. We like the Raptors.
And the Raptors. It's a beautiful thing. So really quickly, I got a couple things, and I'll get into my I am calling this as it is, my homer bet for the night. This is my homer Jays fan bet. It's a long shot bet. Not really like a lotto, but it's a long shot bet, and I'm going to have some fun with it. It is a homer bet through and through, and I'll give you that here at the end. So just a couple more things. So when it comes to like the Blue Jays bats tonight, we talked about this before the series. That's something that we have seen from this entire lineup all year long is clutch. They come up clutch. And this is not something that we can really hone in on since Bautista and Edwin back in the day, when you need your guys who hit home runs to hit a home run in a big spot. What Vladdy has done, I don't have his statistics against the Yankees up in front of me, but I know that he loves to hit against the Yankees. He crushes this team every year. Even in his down years, he crushes the Yankees. It's just how he rolls. And this whole lineup, dude, like, even though on Sunday the game was out of hand, he hits the grand slam and it's 9-0. They were still mashing. They were still hitting. They were still adding on. And it's a good thing too, because that game got a little testy towards the end. But the bats of this team have been dialed in and clutch all year long, and they're showing it again in this series. That's number one. That's why I like them tonight. That's number one. Number two, you're talking about the Yankees fans, and I would have loved this with or without the Blue Jays being involved. I want to please clarify, if this was any other team that was smacking around the Yankees like the Jays are, I would have enjoyed this. Not as much, but a lot. The Yankee fan meltdowns on Twitter, whether it's just being so disappointed in this team, to people accusing the Jays of being the Astros from 2017, just the whole everything. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
It almost feels, if you don't mind, like watching Leafs fans talk about the Connor McDavid extension in Edmonton.
My goodness.
Sorry, too soon?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's just because our guys won't take less so that the team can spend more money, but other superstars have no problem doing it, i.e. McDavid. I know, Jordan, it wasn't close. The Yankees took a 13-2 loss to 13-17. I understand. I just, your point's well taken. But dude, like, Yankees fans, like, all this, Jordan is just laying on the Yankees hate thick in the chat, but all jokes aside, whether a Jays fan, not a Jays fan, or whatever, they have a right to have meltdowns. This has not been close since the 5th inning or 6th inning of game 1. Like, this is the playoffs. Like, you have to think that this game tonight has to go under the total, right? This can't be a, 20.5 like point total. Like, it's just insane what we're watching. Anyway, so just to stay back on the rails. So that's that. I'm really looking forward to this game.
Vladdy's career numbers at Yankee Stadium. This is in New York against the Yankees. 308, 369, 632 slugging percentage. That's a 102 OPS. 117 total bases in 203 plate appearances. Yeah, that'll play.
Well,
And we've certainly seen it. You referenced the Grand Slam. Yeah, I don't think that there's. You know who won't be intimidated by the Rockets fans in the Bronx? It's Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Whether I mean, we'll see what the results are, but it won't be because he's shy. You know.
and to add to your point, against Rodon, I think this is 2024, not this season. But regardless, 6 for 8, 2 doubles, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 750 average, 2.153 OPS. That was Vladdy in 2024 against this pitcher. And I know that was a year ago, and I know this might be the kiss of death for the Blue Jays. But listen, man, this is not just a must win for the Yankees. This is a must win for the Blue Jays, and they've been up to the task all year long. They've been clutch all year long. And this is coming from a roster that wasn't supposed to be doing this. And listen, man, the Yankees ultimately have a good roster. This team went to the World Series last year. No disrespect to them at all. I'm just saying what we've been watching with the Blue Jays all year. Oh yeah, here we go. Got a Yankees fan. I'm not talking smack, man. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying what I've been watching on TV. I think the Yankees are a good team, man. I think they're a really good team.
Yankees are a really
and if
good
you
team.
and if you've been watching, and if you've been watching for the whole show, I literally said if the Jays don't win tonight, this is a must-win game for the Jays. I hate the idea of a bullpen game for the Jays tomorrow, and then game 5, anything can happen. So I've been saying it the whole show, my friend. I think that if the Jays don't win tonight, then this is probably going 5, and then anything can happen. So there's no disrespect intended at all. But I'm just saying what I've been watching, but always love it. Always love it. All right. And in that, me trying to make peace with a Yankees fan, here's my homer bet. My homer bet for the night. Probably not the best time to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just going to pull it up. And it's funny, man. Like, I literally been saying it all show. Like, if the Jays don't win tonight, it's going to be tough to win the series tomorrow night. So just give me 2 seconds to pull this up here. Come on. I know you got to run, my guy. We'll finish this up here. Everything that I have, whether it's my Wi-Fi or my computer, when I need it the most, it always falls through. All right. My homer bet of the night. And I'm saying it what it is. This is what it is. Toronto Blue Jays, -1.5. Shane Bieber, 8+ strikeouts. Vladdy Guerrero Jr., 2 plus total bases, +1620. 50% profit boost that FanDuel is offering, at least up here, is +2430. It's a long shot for the way it is, but I like it. I love it. Vibes are high. And Sunil, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I appreciate you watching the show, man. Thank you. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be I love this. We don't have time to go through all these chats. Sorry, my friend. We got to go. But I love it. I absolutely love it. We'll be back. Join us back, Sunil. Join us back. We're going to be back on Friday, most likely, maybe Saturday. But please, man, hang out and let's talk through it. Win or lose, we will talk through it. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. Once again, First Round Collectibles, promo code SPORTS10 for 10% off your entire order, including sales items. They have up to 50% off, tons of different cards. So use SPORTS10 to get 10% off regular price and sales priced items and Total Apex Sports and Total Apex Media. Tom, enjoy the game tonight with your buddies. Thank you for hanging out with me. We will be back when these series are over. We'll break it all down. Win or lose, rain or shine. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.